Hey, I'm Lexi, and today we're going to be doing a yoga flow and stretch. We're going to be going through a variety of different poses and stretches, so just make sure to take anything to your own level and what you need. So we are just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start in that seated position. Crossing those legs, take a big shoulder roll to open up that chest to start. You can place those hands on your knees, palms facing up, and then just let those eyes come to a close. We're gonna start off with a few deep breaths, so taking a big inhale through your nose and a big exhale out of your nose. Go through this a few more times with the speed of your breath. On your next inhale, we're going to take those arms all the way up overhead. We're going to place one hand right beside that hip, just kind of lean into that side, going right back up to center and going to the other side. Again, just going back and forth here, whatever speed you need, however deep into these stretches that you need. And once you feel comfortable, you can start to hold that stretch. You can stay here with your elbow up, or you can bring that elbow down to the ground. Reaching up and over through that top arm. And switching sides when you're ready. On that next inhale, coming back to center, placing those hands all the way up overhead, and placing your left hand on your right knee, your right hand behind your hip, going into a little spinal twist here. Coming back to center, and placing that opposite hand on that opposite knee. And coming back to center, we're going to transition into that child's pose. So getting those hips slightly, those knees slightly outside of those hips and sitting it back into that child's pose here. Reaching those hands long towards the front of the mat. Letting that forehead rest against the mat, sinking deeper into the stretch with every exhale you take. Taking one more deep breath here. And after that exhale, coming out of that child's pose, we're taking it up into our down dog. So getting those feet right in line with those hips, hands right in line with those shoulders. Letting that head and neck draw down towards the mat. While we're here, you can start to pedal out those feet if you want. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. We're going to get into that sun salutation flow. So when you're ready, start to walk those feet in towards those hands. Hold it here for that forward fold. On your next inhale, we're going to slide those hands up your shins for that halfway lift. Exhale, back down to that forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to the top. Exhale, we're going to twist to one side, slightly lift that knee. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale back to center, grab one wrist, lift up and over on that exhale. Inhale back to center, up and over on the exhale. Then on that next inhale, we're gonna cactus those arms back for that mini back bend. And exhale, dive it back down to that forward fold. Inhale for that halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands down. Inhale, step those feet back into that plank. As we exhale, we drop those hips, drop that chest, coming up for that cobra. And sit it back into that child's pose. Hold it here for a round of breath. And on that inhale, pop it back up into down dog. Exhale, we walk those feet in towards those hands. Forward fold. Inhale for that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Inhale, twist to one way. Now this time, if you want to lift that opposite leg, there's an option. Inhale to center, exhale, twist the other way. Inhale to center, grab that wrist, lift up and over on the exhale. Inhale, switch arms, up and over. And inhale those arms back for cactus. And exhale, dive it back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, plant the feet on the inhale. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale for cobra. And exhale to child's pose. We're gonna go through this 2 more rounds. This time, see if you can sink a little bit more into each stretch. And getting into our last round of this sun salutation. All right, now back in child's pose. We're gonna take 2 clearing breaths. That big inhale through your nose. And that big exhale out of your nose. After that next exhale, coming back up into downward dog. We're gonna take one leg up into the air for that 3-legged dog. Then swing it through your hands. Coming up into that high lunge. Getting those feet right in line with those hips, that back toes on the ground, back heel stays up. Arms overhead, and then just sink low into that lunge here. Taking it to warrior 2, angling those hips to the side. Reaching long towards the front and back of the room. Then bringing it to the front for that side angle. That front elbow to that front thigh, back arm comes overhead. And bringing it back to reverse warrior. Back to that side angle. reverse warrior. Then coming back to that neutral spine. I'm gonna turn this way. We're coming back to that warrior two, and then we're gonna straighten that front leg, reach towards the front of the mat, and then come down for that triangle pose. Now that front hand can go anywhere it can reach, the shin, the foot, the floor. And then try and get that back arm in that straight line with your front arm. Extra challenge here to look up to that top hand. Exhale, coming back up into warrior two, sinking it deep into those hips one more time. And back to that high lunge. Now we're gonna bring that opposite hand on the inside of that bottom leg and open up towards your bent leg here. Option to keep that back knee off the ground, or you can bring it down. Again, try and get those arms in that long line, extra challenge to look up to that top hand. And when you're ready, bring that chest back to the center. Now drop that back leg. We're gonna sink it deep into this low lunge and take it back for that half split, reaching towards that front foot. I'm just kind of going back and forth between these two. One more time. All right, now planting those hands, planting that back toe, and then sending that front leg back up for that three-legged dog before placing it back down in down dog. Shake out those legs. We're gonna do all that on the opposite side now. Other leg goes up and swing it through your hands. Coming up for that high lunge. Back toe on the ground, heel up. Arms overhead, just sink into those hips. And open it up for that warrior two. Arms go long to the front and back, shoulders over hips. Bringing that front elbow to that front thigh for that side angle. And taking it back for reverse warrior. Back to side angle. And reverse warrior. Bringing that chest right back up to that neutral spine, reaching towards the front of the mat, bringing it down for triangle. Again, reaching that hand wherever it can go, trying to get those arms in that long line. Extra challenge to look up that top hand. After your next exhale, bringing that chest back up into warrior two. Sinking it low one more time. And rotating that back foot for that high lunge. Now bringing that opposite hand on the inside of that bottom leg, opening it up towards your bent leg. Remember that back knee can stay up or it can come down. Trying to open up through that top hand, looking up to that hand if you want. And bringing that chest back to that knee, dropping that back knee, sinking it low into this low lunge. And sitting it back for that half split, reaching towards that front foot. And then again, just going back and forth between these two. Last one. And coming back to that low lunge, planting those hands, planting that back toe, sending that front leg back up into three-legged dog, and place it down in down dog. Shake those legs out. You can pedal out those feet one more time. And when you're ready, drop it down to your knees. We're gonna transition back into our seated pose. We're gonna take it to butterfly. So getting the backs of those legs, feet together, chest nice and tall, grabbing at our ankles. Then if you want a little bit more, you can slightly sink into this stretch, giving a slight push on your knees. And bringing that chest up. We're gonna make our way down to our backs. So grab one leg, bring your weight all the way down, pull that single knee in towards your chest. Feel that stretch in that one leg. Now take that same leg, take it across your body for our supine spinal twist. Opposite arm goes out like a T. Now that bottom leg can stay straight, or you can bring it under your top leg for support. If you want a little bit more, slightly overlook that opposite shoulder. And coming back to center, we're gonna open up that hip the opposite way. Just letting that knee fall to the other side. And placing that leg down, bringing that other leg in, bringing it close to your chest, feeling that deep stretch. And taking that leg across your body for that spinal twist, opposite arm out like a T. And remember your options, you can have that leg straight or bring it under that top leg. Option to slightly overlook that opposite shoulder if you want. And bringing it back to center, opening up that hip the opposite way. Now placing both feet on the ground, knees up. You're gonna let one leg drop towards the ground, come up, let the other side drop. Just going back and forth here until you feel comfortable to let both legs drop towards the ground for that lying butterfly stretch. Letting those knees just be pulled to the ground, opening up those hips. Remembering that deep breath, that big inhale through your nose. And that exhale out of your nose. All right, we got one more stretch. Take those arms and legs as long as you can for one full body stretch. Take that big inhale, now make yourself as long as possible. And exhale, relax. We're gonna do that one more time. See if you can get a little bit more out of this final stretch. Big inhale. exhale. All right, when you're ready, grab one knee, bring your way back up into that seated position. We're gonna finish class how we started. So just coming up into that comfortable seated position for you. Take that big shoulder roll to open that chest. Take that big inhale through your nose. And exhale out of your nose. We'll do 2 more breaths here. Now on your next inhale, we're gonna take those arms all the way up overhead. One more stretch, make yourself as tall as possible. And exhale those hands down to heart center. One more deep breath. And big exhale. All right, thank y'all so much for joining me for today's yoga session. I hope y'all carry this calmness through you for the rest of your day. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next video.